How's everybody doing? Got Coach Hoover here. Let me just get rid of something real quick.
Good box out by Destiny Harden. Sammy Puisis is 6'1". People forget that she is a formidable rebounder. So that was a good box by Harden to keep Puisis away from that.
All right. With that, we'll turn it over to Coach, and we'll open it up for questions whenever you guys are ready.
Hey, congrats, Coach. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. I don't have much of a voice, so.
A big road win for your team, and you kind of led wire to wire. What do you have to say about how they came out and competed today and kind of took care of business and got the win for you?
Yeah, just so proud of this team's focus and fire. That's kind of a couple things we've been really preaching and talking about lately, in that we just have to continue to focus on the process, who we're defending, how we're defending, what our game plan is, what a scouting report is. And if we'll focus on that, and then focus also on what we do best, and to bring that with a lot of fight and fire. And I thought today we came out with just, so proud of the way we came out and started the game, and just sharing the basketball and knocking down shots and, controlling the boards initially. It was a team we knew, all these teams we play, we're playing for a second time now. And so there's some familiarity both ways. And I just thought, we don't mind going on the road thus far. It's been pretty good to us. And that's a tribute to this team and the staff, and just being able to really focus in, even when we're away from home. In COVID era, this was probably the biggest crowd we've played in yet, because they had a pretty good crowd, and they also had their band here. So it was almost like a regular away game for us here in Clemson. And so far, we kind of like playing in Tiger Country.
Jen, I know you guys got 3 games left in the regular season and the tournament, and, the drive to get to that tournament, the NCAA, for the second time in school history. Do you use that as motivation? Do the girls know about that? You guys are trying to buck the trend here, obviously.
Well, we don't talk about it a lot. We have kind of, because the kids know, because each one of them that we recruited came here to change that, to be the team that led us back to there. And there's been a lot of great players in those many years since that tried to do that, and they've been a part of this process for us. And there's not one that came through here that hasn't helped us do what we're doing right now. But this group, in the back of their mind, knew back in July 6th, when they decided to come back to campus amidst the pandemic and be on lockdown in their rooms, that there was a sacrifice they were willing to make for each other and for how special we thought this group could be. And, I think now there's a sense of urgency about it, especially in a couple of our seniors, Conti and Ratza. I just think they know that it's there for our taking now, and we control that. And that's what we have. We have to control what we can control. And that's what we're trying to do right now, and keep them really locked in and focused on that.
And do you think you would have got in last year? I can't remember how that all went with
NIT.
Okay.
We were NIT bound after our tournament appearance, where we were able to get 500. But if we wouldn't have won the 2 games in the tournament, we wouldn't even been in NIT. And so I think they had a little bit of, guys, these 5 and 6 games, like every game does matter. And, this year, maybe it's a lesson from being grateful for the opportunity to play. And, the next game may be the only game you get to play. So, I don't know exactly with these kids, but I'm just grateful and blessed to have a chance to work with the group I do, because they're great kids, and they've done a lot to sacrifice to make this possible. And they also pour their heart and souls into practices and the games every day.
And one more thing, you were on that 88 team that went to the NCAA tournament. I think you guys won your first round and then lost to Tennessee. Do they want to hear any of those stories, or how does that go?
I don't know. I don't tell them about it, because to me, it's about them. It's not about me. It's definitely about them and what they're doing and what they've earned. And that's what we talked about at the beginning of the year too, that we have to earn everything we get. And that every night you have to fight for it, and then you have to earn it. And you're only going to do that if you believe in it. We talked about, belief is our fuel. So I haven't talked to them about any of that. I don't know how many of them know that or not. Tennessee ended up winning it that year. We had to go on the road and play them straight from, we went up to Villanova first and actually hit a last second shot at the buzzer on a baseline out of bounds play. I had a wide open layup. I think Alice Neal passed me the ball, and we beat Villanova by 1, I think, and then went straight to Tennessee, and they proceeded to kick us. But it was still like, there's just nothing like playing in that tournament and the experience that these kids want to have a chance to do, and want to start a new string of how many consecutive years we can play in that tournament.
It seemed like to me the game, you guys kind of set the tone defensively pretty early. And I mean, you held them to under 40% field goal shooting, and especially on Washington, who was such a weapon against you back at the Joel earlier this season. How important was the defensive effort, and what did you try to do a little bit different in this game?
Well, I really thought defensively, that's what we've been talking about. Our kids have really started to understand that it's defense and rebounding that wins games. Everybody loves to play offense. Everybody likes to hit a shot or make that pass to a teammate. But when you really hunker down and lock into what a team is trying to do to you, and you can try to take away their option A, I mean, it's just all about getting in a stance and really defending as an individual, taking pride in your individual defense, but then also how does that work in the concept of our defensive principles as a team? And, it's something we've been hammering lately for a long time, I should say. And I thought in the first game, when you looked at the stat sheet at the end of the first time we played them at home, they did everything that Clemson did. They killed us on the boards. The big three led them in scoring. Washington got to her right hand the whole day. And so I thought our kids, we got smart kids. They learned their lesson.
Jen, do you feel like you guys have done enough, or is it still too early to kind of figure out? I know they've come out with some women's brackets here and there, and do you try not to pay attention to that?
It's one of those things I try not to pay a lot of attention. I know our kids pay attention to it. And so we talk a lot about not getting caught up in the headlines. We can't be as good as our last game. We really feel like we have to control our own destiny because, again, we're Wake Forest. We have to earn it. And I still think we got to go into the game on Thursday night against NC State that we got to earn it. We know we played number 1 tough at home. They're a phenomenal team. They beat number 1 at their place. So I just think we still feel like we have unfinished business that we want. Now, none of it's going to be easy. I think, as you get down into crunch time going into the tournament, everyone's starting to, gel and, play, we look at Miami. We were just talking in the locker room. We haven't played them in forever. So an assistant coach is starting to scout them. It's like scouting all over again. NC State, it's, they've been out a few, so they haven't played a ton of games since we played them. But our kids are excited. They were excited that game got rescheduled just because of the rivalry. It's really sad to us that we don't get to play Duke, Carolina, and NC State twice a year just because you grow up at Wake Forest. That's the rivalry of the ACC for us. And so they were excited when that game did get rescheduled.
Jen, you had 4 players in double figures today. And if you look at not only just this game, but the season in general, everybody knows about Conti and Rasa. If it was just those 2, you all could probably be a little bit easier to defend. But that's not what this season is it, Jen? You've got multiple people who can contribute on any given night, and you had that again today.
Yeah, I think that's been key. We talked about early in the year, we thought we were going to be so versatile with a ability to score in a variety of different ways. And the versatility we have within some of those players, the ability to move Ivana around from a post to a guard to a wing, and Christina Moore really being such a presence inside for us, to Gina being able to just control games. I think she's proven this year. I mean, she had 8 assists tonight, just finding the right kids and give those players credit. She believed in them and got them shots, and they knew that they believed in their shooting. And so, Alex Scruggs is a different kind of player. She's a tough matchup for a whole nother reason. And, I think Kaya Harrison has been a real bright spot for us in the last little run we've been making, because she just comes in and brings us a new energy and excitement. And she's been able to get downhill and make some plays. And defensively, she's kind of a hounder. And, I think we have to continue to have that. We got to continue to build more of that, even though we have 3 games left in the tournament and all that. We got to continue to push each person to bring their best version of them every day, because that's what makes this team special. That we've got to be able to hit a key shot. I thought Alex Scruggs' 3 late I don't think it was in the 4th quarter when we were struggling. We turned it over a couple times, and she had just checked in the game. That was a huge shot for her and for our team. And you could just see us kind of like breathe again. And that's what this team's about. It's like, who's going to be next to kind of make that, instead of everyone just kind of watching for Ivana or Gina to do it. So I think that part is we've started to evolve even more throughout the year. Has become, it's refreshing to see these kids play that well off of each other and with each other.
Did anybody bother to tell Gina that there were a couple ticks left on the clock when she lost her half-court shot?
No, I don't think so. We were all like, we usually do halfies at shoot-arounds, and we did not have a shoot-around with the 12 o'clock game. So, we were like, oh, there, Gina made the halfie. So, kudos to her. We didn't know if we would get it back that quick. We wanted to take the last shot on the other end. I think we turned it over. And so I was frustrated because we turned it over versus holding the ball down there a little bit longer. And then we were able to turn it around quick. And she, the awareness for her to get to the middle of the lane. And I'm usually right from that half circles where a lot of them like to shoot their halfies.
And then I guess last thing I've got is it seems like it was potentially Ivana's best offensive game in a while. Is it good to kind of see her catching her stride right now?
Well, I thought this was a big one for her because they were really kind of physical with her last time and kind of all up on her body and whatnot. And I thought she did a really good job of how to use that against them. Because no matter how someone guards you, when you're a kid that's got the game that Ivana has, you can use it against them a little bit. And, for her to shoot the ball as well, she did. I thought she made really smart decisions with the basketball. And I thought she missed a couple that usually she's going to make. One of them was that went really late, post up luck we gave her. Rebounding wise, they're going to focus in on her. She's been doing doubles for us for the last 3 or 4 games. And so I'd like to see her get a little bit more on the boards to get back to a double. But, I knew she was excited to be able to knock down a couple of those threes. She spends so much time outside of practice, really working on her shot. And she has a lot of confidence because she puts in the work for it.
And then I guess what's the key to you the next 2 to 3 days to rehabilitate your voice by Thursday night?
Well, before our bus ride has started, it's these kids, they might like it that I can't yell right now. I was getting on them a little bit in that fourth quarter. I thought we got a little helter skelter there. And just told them like, guys, just take a deep breath. Let's just be poised. And we needed to stop fouling them. We were fouling them and putting on the free throw line and allowing them to score with no clock running off. And we had used a couple of our timeouts. So, give them a lot of credit. They're a very scrappy, gritty team, and they're well coached, and they've got a lot of talent. And we knew they weren't going away. We'd watched them be down against Georgia Tech 3 games ago. They were down 14 and took a 9-point lead with 2 minutes to go. So we knew they were capable. So, now it's just don't talk. And that's hard for me, but on the bus, we usually don't do a lot. We have a mask and a face shield. So there is no talking.
Now, is the voice hoarse because they had fans? You had to yell louder? Is that what happened?
No, maybe because of the band. This is our second one with the band. The Georgia Tech band was right by our bench, and their band was right by our bench. Where at Wake, we put the band up in the upper, the social distancing thing, we kind of, really honor it a little bit more. And, again, our kids like it. It's a great atmosphere when it's like that. So, but we love our marching band, and we love to see them, whether they're in the rafters or right down on the court. So.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Go Deeks.